Hello, this is Sarah Gray, and today I am going to tell you about the Neo Alphasmart. The Neo Alphasmart is a piece of hardware designed solely as a word processor. There are several ways to connect the Neo Alphasmart to computers or printers through either a standard USB port or through infrared connection. If you don't know what infrared connection was, neither did I. It's not the same as Bluetooth, and I don't think very many people use it. But if you do, just know that it's available. The back of the item also has this handy reference and quick use guide in case you forget exactly what each button or key or function is and you don't have your booklet handy. You can just flip the device over and look at this guide on the back. Okay, some of the features of the Neo Alphasmart. There is no internet access. This cuts down on distractions for the writer. I read a couple of older blogs from professional writers who actually use this device in place of a laptop or iPad for this very reason. The device operates on 3 AA batteries, and it really has a long battery life compared to display-heavy modern devices like an iPad or your smartphone, something of that nature. Again, it's pretty easy to connect with other devices using standard cables. It's durable. You can store up to 8 files, so 8 different documents, if you will, 20 pages per file. It's relatively inexpensive. They're no longer making the Neo model featured in this story. The Neo 2 is listed for $119 on the manufacturer's website. You can still purchase a Neo if you'd rather. You can get those through eBay as a used item, somewhere around $60 to $75. It's very lightweight, probably about 1.5 pounds. It doesn't feel like it weighs very much more than a normal keyboard. And finally, it does have a full-size physical keyboard, which I actually did like. So in the classroom, there are several specialized uses for it. You can view this information at www.neodirect.com. The Neo Alphasmart has sticky keys and slow key features, and that's basically controls for people with physical challenges and difficulty with key targeting. It also has a key auto repeat control, and that's a fancy way of saying that if you hold the button down too long, the characters don't repeat on the screen. It does have different options for displaying the font size. There's optional software that you can get for word prediction. There's optional text-to-speech software, and you can exchange the text with the teacher's computer, either through the cable or just through a flash drive or something of that nature. So, who's using it? Adults and children with physical or learning challenges. And if you purchase the add-ons, you can use it for individuals that have verbal communication challenges. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of training involved, especially since there's no formatting capabilities for your documents. You really have to export them to a computer and use something like Word in order to make them really pretty. Otherwise, they just are, a lot of text. So if we compare the Neo Alphasmart with something like an iPad, that is the Neo Alphasmart product in its carrying case, which you can purchase. And then, of course, that's an iPad. So you can see just by looking at them visually that they have vastly different functionality to them. I typed this little message for y'all to look at on the one that I got in my kit, and it says, "Hi class, this display reminds me of the 1980s. Well, in the 1980s, I was just a young thing, but I did have a word processing typewriter. It was a digital typewriter with a little display that was about that big, and it actually, you could put paper in it. You could find pictures of those on the internet. They're kind of cool. But it's sort of also kind of, it's like a little dot matrix little display there. Yeah, very 80s looking. The screen also isn't backlit, so it depends on your environment that you're in, but it can be kind of difficult to read because there is no lighting at all. And of course, your iPad, obviously very graphics heavy. I don't particularly personally have an iPad. I do have a tablet, but it's an Android-based tablet. And I do love it. Since I've had the tablet, maybe a year and a half, I really don't turn my computer on, my laptop at home anymore at all, only when I'm working on projects like this. So some things to consider. Some of the good things about the Neo Alphasmart: it does have that full-size physical keyboard. It is very lightweight. There is no internet, so there are no distractions from your task of writing. It has long battery life. It's used in lots of classrooms, a popular item. It's relatively inexpensive and durable. Some of the things you might want to consider as being a little less positive: it does have that very small screen. There are no graphic capabilities at all, so it might be kind of difficult to hold someone's interest when you just have text. It's not easily formatted. In other words, the documents that you can produce from this are long text. You can paragraph them, but you can't do much more than that without going to a computer and using another program. It's a single-purpose item. In other words, it doesn't play games. It doesn't do anything except act as a word processor. The social acceptability of a Neo Alphasmart versus like an iPad, I think, is obvious. Everybody has smartphones and iPads these days. And if you're, a 9-year-old carrying around this clunky device, I'm not sure that that's going to help your cause any with the rest of the kids. Again, no picture capability, so people that have trouble reading text are going to have a hard time. And you have to buy add-ons for wireless text-to-speech or word prediction. So this is just a little picture that I got of kids using the Neo Alphasmart. I do think there's a place for items like this. iPads are really popular. They're also popular to steal. They're probably not as durable as something like the Neo Alphasmart. But on the other hand, like if you use this device, you're probably going to end up, also maybe having an iPad or a phone. So you're going to have some redundancy. But overall, I did like the simple technology and the lack of distractions because there was no internet. But I didn't care for not being able to read everything that I wrote beyond a few sentences, and not being able to format it as I write. It seems like a lot of double work, especially if it's a long document. Like, think if you got to be 20 pages and you couldn't format it and you had to go back and do that, it seemed like a lot of extra work. But for people who have physical challenges with writing or learning challenges and need to avoid distractions, I can see some advantages for this single-use system. I hope everybody got something out of that, and have a wonderful day.